Man, that looks good. Weldy, weldy. This is exciting. This is exciting. And the answer's yup. I'm smashing some dang Armstronging it over here with one nut. Double win, especially my boogers. Hey there, YouTubies! This week we get wild. We get some side pipes. Check it out. We also do some brakes and some clutch work. So we get some stuff done. You gotta stay tuned. Check it out. All right, pick up where we left off last week, right on the brakes. So I was thinking about going and buying some bolts or some all thread or something, and I thought, you know, why would I do that? Because then I gotta buy some nuts and stuff and washers or nylock nuts or something, when I already have the nuts from the old booster and the studs. Why don't we just cut these off? This booster, nobody's gonna install it in their car. Look how rusty it is. Man, so there's just, we'll cut them off. We'll weld them on our plate. Whoop, over here. You know what I'm saying? Boom, baby. And then we have a complete bracket where the studs will be on here, attached to the firewall. Our booster will attach then to the bracket, so to the firewall. Man, the only thing I have to check is make sure I put my rod right where I need my rod to be able to work on the brakes. I hope so. Sure. We got our nice looking studs cut right off there. Now, we just got to figure out, I'm pretty sure I'm going to put them on top of every hole. Because I think I need to move the whole bracket down because, man, that's a big boy. And when I lined it up, I could definitely see the firewall through these holes. So, I'm just going to move them, and I'm going to wing and prayer that, you know, right there is going to be good. That's what I'm saying. Sure. And then we'll, you know, sure, just like that. Weldy, weldy. We'll test fit probably 100 frickin' times to make sure we're good. And then we should have brakes, because this is what's holding us back from holding this bracket on the firewall. Once we get those on the firewall, that'll go on that bracket. Then we deal with the rod, which by my mathification, as long as everything's good, that hole should line up right where this hole was. And we might have to find a bushing because you can see this hole is way smaller than that hole. But you know, maybe we just cut the end of that off and weld the end of this one on there or something. Or we find a little bushing to put in that hole. Either or. Got them on there. You can tell it's still warm because it's smoking. Let it cool off, test fit it one last time. Make sure that, you know, it's hot. Might have bent a bolt, but don't worry. I got an adjuster right here. I'll get it right where I want it. The nice thing is, I believe we're good. One thing we might have to take care of though is moving them bolt holes again. We might have to cut more hole out of our firewall, which I didn't want to do, but it might be necessary. We'll see here shortly, but I think it's just a little bit, not too much. Just go straight down, 1/4 inch, bring her back up. Got the booster bolts chopped down and bolted on. So now we just gotta cut the firewall and this sucker will go in. Man! Grab the grinder with the thicky disc, the big boy. And well, I just brought her down, you know, and then I had a little sharp edge I didn't like, so I gave her some love taps with the hammer. It rolled them over, just, you know, so they're not finger getters. Good enough for me. Now it's time to install our brand new to us, but used brake booster. This is exciting. This is exciting. Boom! Look at that big boy in there. Oh, we're talking like by the hair on somebody's chin, because I got a lot. And I don't, yeah, there's no room. If you look right here, we're even in the way of our clutch. Oh, that's, I guess nothing but a chicken wing. We can try and scoot her over this way, you know, and we'll just have to put a little spacer and a rod on there. But dude, it'll still work. This is gonna be solid. Killing it. Or it's killing me. Me and Grandpa fought for the last 20 minutes trying to get this thing in there. They're still aligning the bolts because there's holes in the firewall, right? And then there's a bracket on the back side of the firewall that is separate from the firewall that holds the brake to the firewall right where you want it. And that bracket was just making it so it just didn't want to go all the way. So it took some wiggling and some jiggling and some love taps here and some love taps there. But it's in there, bolted all the way. Look at this thing. And man, I'll tell you, we barely have a little touchage right there, and it's just the corner of that thing. Maybe up in here somewhere. You know, if it comes out, a little love tap on the hammer, be all right. Woo! Our clutch hole, as we talked about, isn't ideal, but we can work that out. Big thing, the brakes. That's the more important, you know, to me anyway. So now the next thing is we got to get this puppy up here. And we got a little distance because, well, you see it's been sagging for a while, it hasn't been supported properly. You know, hot rod things. Or laziness. But anyway, it's got to get mounted up there. I'm going to get that mounted up there. Then I got to figure out how we're gonna get our pedal to hook up to that hole right there. See that hole? Boom. Actually, dude, that's pretty dang tits. He just moved his brake light in a little. Or, yeah. Oh, dude. Did we just luck out like a mother trucker? Probably. Probably. A lot of stuff on this build seems to be going that way, and I'm telling you, I'm digging it. Anyways, if you were looking around while we were in there, you seen the 4 bolts holding the brake booster on around that brake pedal? Sure. If not, here's a second look. Boom, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's in there. See this little brake bracket? That was whooping me, all right? But don't worry, I won the fight. You know, we will have brakes soon. Yes, this is like one of the biggest worries of another bigger worry of this build is like, what am I gonna do with brakes? Like, can I get them to work together? And the answer's yup. All right, unforeseen problem 1734. Brake booster. Dang, tapping on the firewall. So now the question is, do we cut it? Or beat it with a hammer? Or figure out a different master cylinder setup? Because man, we got more than an inch to go. Which we have the room, we just have to cut it. Which, you know, isn't bad, won't be hard, it's just not fun. And we have some electrical we gotta worry about. Who knows which way that goes in there. Probably right this way, because you can see the little clamp right here. Can you see that little hole? Yeah, probably right in the way. And if you really want to know what I'm thinking is, the cheapest option, sledgehammer. And it's not very much, you know, because put some light on the situation. This comes downward, you know, and we have plenty of space. So, if you just beat up, go up, you know, we only need 3/4 of an inch. And I know, from building a Toyota Corolla and putting 29-inch tires on it, I can manipulate metal more than 3/4 of an inch, so. It might be a little tight on getting the lid on and off, but we'll have brakes. And we don't have to buy another master cylinder or cut some stuff and risk ruining some stuff. So I'm kind of digging the idea of smashing some stuff. But I gotta think on it. Make sure that, because I don't want to miss and break my windshield. You know, it's pretty close. Well, I cut out myself. I gave her a couple test swings just to see. And well, to the angle, this guy being in the way, I'm not taking that back out because I got my bow whip putting it in. It's trying to go back and it's gonna get in the way. I need it to go up. So I'm thinking I'm just gonna have to do some slice and dicing in here somehow. But you know, you can see this. I moved this wire. If you look in that hole, well, it's gone now. If you look in there, you can see the plastic thing moving, holds it in there. So we gotta be super duper careful. Went ahead with the slice and dice method. I went outside my lines on every side, so I should have some room. And look at that. The wire didn't get cut. Can you see it in there? Nice. So now might have to get a little further back on both sides, but I could just be able to whammy that sucker up and it might fit. It will fit is what I'm saying. Just like that. A hammer was the solution. All right, it took some banging, some slice and dicing. Now we gotta figure out how to make this wire protected, because you know, we got some crazy roads out here. You know, maybe I'll come through and just saws all that lip off. It'll be easy to do, you know, because all we gotta do is unbolt the master. And we can see, hold that wire out of the way and stuff. So I like it. It fits on there. I'm down a nut. Dang it. I'm dang Armstronging it over here with one nut. But the best part is we're literally like a pin for the rod to the brake booster to the pedal, and we will have brakes on the Jap rod, which is a huge milestone. So climb in here. I'm not joking with you. You see that hole and that hole? Man, they about line up. So even if I gotta come in a little bit, that's okay. It's not gonna mess with your foot. And if you can see these little adjustments on here, you know, I can bring in the brake light switch to where I need it. So I'm not too worried about it. I'm digging it is what I'm saying. Whoo! One tiny part and we got the biggest, one of the hardest things that I've been scared about since the beginning of this project accomplished. Now the next part may be the clutch. That's the next hardest piece. But after doing the brakes, easy peasy. I got this one in the baggie. So this is what I come up with for the rod, you know, to hold the pedal together. Got a little 3/8 brake line, a little 5/16. Well, I put the 5/16 in the 3/8, cut it off. This is where we got a little chunk. I left that one a little long, you know, to give us room. So when I tighten the bolt, it'll allow it to spin on each other if it needs to. Might not need to, because it might just, you know, be perfect for in the car. So then I can put this bolt, tighten it down to it. Boom, baby. We'll have brake pedal. Down here, there's our bolt. It's our hookup. Let me push on it. Here's our action. She works. Man, that's pretty good, actually. We do gotta adjust our little brake, because you can see, man, we're just the button lengths from pushing it, but nothing but a chicken wing. So here we got spinach. I'm gonna hit the pedal and boom, stopped. Proof. the brakes are working good. And I mean like they're brand new. I don't know the conditions of the pads or nothing like that, but for now, they're working great. All with just some time and labor. All we did was make a little bracket. Man, am I excited. I'm happy. Look at this thing. It looks more appropriate having the brakes sitting where it's supposed to sit instead of dangling and you're wangling. That didn't even make sense, but it rhymed. But you get what I mean, it's in the way. Whoo, clean up this front end. We need a radiator, some headlight mounts, man. And the front of this thing be coming around. The back end come around last week. The interior be coming around soon, man. We're gonna have a nice hot rod. Yep. New day for new great things. Man, I got some goodies and I'm ready to put them in. First things first, we got us a drive shaft. Yep. Necessary. Yeah. Next thing is one thing that I'm pretty excited, you know, mostly for visual looks and secondly, sound. Man, side pipes. They showed up and golly, I just had to set them on some boxes. Look how shiny and good they look. The end in almost the perfectest spot. You know, I'd have liked a little more, but I'm not mad at where it ends. Man. We got to figure out how to get these on the car. So we got two goals this weekend. Drive shaft, side pipes. All right, been a little time. I went ahead and I fully welded both 90s on the mufflers. I guess there's these are mufflers, not just a straight piece of pipe. Which might quiet it down, which might mean I'm not gonna be too excited about. But hopefully not, we'll find out. So I moved on over here to the pasture side and started making brackets and trying to figure some stuff out, which I think is gonna be pretty easy. Come in yonder here. I just got a little L bracket and then their L bracket and a bolt through it. And then the hangers, there's their things that actually hold all the pieces together, have little holes to hold this on. I'm still gonna weld it together and then just use these as mounting brackets for the pipe, muffler, and the heat shield. So then my next goal here is I'm very close to where I need to be, but my temporary holding system's not holding very nice. It's all in the way. So I kind of got to get these screwed on to my holes and then get it, because I want the heat shield damn near touching the plastic. Not touching, but almost as close as we could get. And that's going to be my height all the way down and across. And then all I got to do is tack weld my little L brackets on there. And we'll have brackets to be able to mount them on there. I'm not gonna weld the tip on today. Probably, maybe this weekend, we'll see. It kind of depends on what's happening up here, because I'm missing the donuts and the flange pieces that connect and bolt on over here. So I gotta find me some stuff for that stuff. And then I gotta route down and back up and get into here somehow. There's gonna be some excitement happening here. This probably might get chopped down, brought her down. But unfortunately, we're trying to do everything cheap and on the budget. I don't have 3-inch, but I do have some 2.5, which is what that shrinks down to. So if I gotta cut it down and then, you know, use it as a reducer piece and re-weld it back on, I could do that and then run whatever 1 foot, 2 foot section in 2.5. It's not gonna affect it that much, at least I hope. Maybe one day when we got the blower, we might have to change that out, but for now, dude, these are sweet. I'm digging the outcome of these side pipes like way too much. I got our brackets. They're just tacked on there. In the tip, it's just hanging out. It's not fully welded, you know, because I want to get the other side set up because I haven't done the driver's side yet. But I want to get the driver's side set up, bracketed up, you know, and then I also want to get them to the engine with some action, you know, somehow. And then I want to weld on the tips because just in case if I got to roll that pipe a little bit, I don't want my tip to look weird. You know what I mean? But for now, check this out. Dang. It's a Civic with a big block and one side pipe. Man, that side pipe looks so cool. If you're looking down on it, it looks already low. And man, it looks cool looking at it like this. I did mount the side pipe slowly downhill because, you know, if it's running right, it's gonna create water. I don't want the pipe to build up with water. I'd like it to drain. I'm digging it. That chrome really making how my wheel look real bad, dirty. Man, we're close. I gotta find me some drive shaft straps and I'll tell you, we'll be on the ground, get the other side, we'll be able to roll it out, look at it. New day, man, walking in the door and seeing the side pipe, I was like, dang, that's a sweet looking ride. So I instantly got motivated and went to town. I got the driver's side set up and Grandpa just happened to be out here and I was like, man, will you hold that so I could tack that sucker, and boom, baby, we got our driver's side. It's just tacked on for right now. Unfortunately, I gotta unbolt them, take them down so I can fully weld the brackets, and then man, they'll bolt right back on. I'll tell you what, I spent 2 hours already this morning looking for exhaust manifold collectors. Man, I should have bought the Y off that guy with the engine too. So I might have to hit him up and be like, man, can I buy that chunk of metal so I can continue my exhaust? Because I just can't find the stock ones. I can find collectors for dang headers all day long. I thought about putting headers on there, but I don't want to spend extra money if I don't have to. It's kind of a budget build. Headers, I feel, should be put on the 632 instead. You know, because 632 is going to have a blower and all them other goodies on it too. Why? I don't even know if the 454 and the 632 headers will cross over. Maybe they will, but I just don't want to waste money at the moment. So there's a couple other things I need, like some drive shaft straps, and I need some tail lights for the other Caprice I got, and some random other goodies. So I might just hit that dude up and be like, hey, you got some more goodies? You know? But anywho, for now, we're gonna take these back off. We're gonna weld them fully, reroute, maybe think about a clutch bracket. We got fuel lines, we can do battery tray thinking, we can do something. Sure. Got our mounts fully welded. Man, exhaust could go back on. Well, most of it anyway. Already got the driver's side over here. Man, I just like seeing it. It just looks so cool. Bye. Look at that side pop, man. Dang good. It's like perfect length. Man, I love it. Grandpa and I were looking at it earlier, and if you look down the side, man, the pipe is still inside of the tire. It's perfect. It's perfect. Got both sides exhaust on, looks great. Little bit of a roadblock running into the part connecting to the manifold. Gotta do some searching. So I started moving on, and I was like, man, my next kind of important thing is clutch, steering, and I need to make a stick. And then we're almost driving. So I was like, well, might as well work on getting the clutch working. So I started looking. Came over yonder wander. Here's our thingamajig in our hole. And it made me start thinking. Little car doesn't need as much action on the pedal, right? So I measured how much that little cylinder, slave cylinder thing, the pedal moved. It was only about 1 inch. And while this one's so strong, because it's already hooked up to the clutch, I couldn't push it. So I Googled it, and everything I could find, it says it moves about 1.5 inches. So, sure. Does that seem right? I don't know, because that's a long section. So I guess we're in for a learning curve, I guess. So I'm going off the 1.5 inches, and well, I took the pedal out because, well, I need to drill a new hole on it. So it came over yonder wander, and instantly, right where I wanted to put my hole, I had to move a bracket. So I sliced and diced it out, grind it down flat, and then boom, I drilled a dang hole. Now this action, for my measurement, should give me 2 inches of action. A little extra than I need. And in my opinion, I'd rather that thing bottom out before my pedal bottom out. Now I could be completely wrong and been led wrong information. And I might be chasing my own tail, but I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna make a bracket, and if I gotta remake it, I'll have to remake it. Here's the plan. Just like I made the bracket for the brake booster, is just how I'm gonna make one for the clutch. Right? Bracket with the bolt holes on the firewall. We're gonna extend it out however distance we need for where it sits. And then we'll make a bracket that the little cylinder thing bolts to. Should be simple. Hopefully I didn't just jinx myself. Collected a bunch of measurements. Are they correct? Who knows? We're gonna find out. It's a lot of guessing. But I went and put some tape on the firewall over the section of where our piece is gonna be. Made some lines and stuff like that. Now I'm just gonna cut the bracket from the tape. You know, I got our holes for the firewall, man. Dang. Boop, 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 boop. We're gonna have a bracket to the firewall in no time. Then I can figure out my sides, which I think are right here. If I slice and dice this sucker right in half, this is 4 inches. So that should raise me the 4 inches I need. And then bam. That's the front piece. Now I have to figure out where my bolt holes for this thing and then the other hole goes. But so far so good. Boom. Here's what's happening. We got our holes in there. I got one bolt in there. The other one lines up. The center one lines up. Now our next goal here is we got this. How are we gonna make this work? That's what I'm saying. Thinking. Maybe put one top, one bottom. I think that's a good idea. Figure it out. Maybe a little sliver here, a little sliver there, and there. We make it work. That is for sure. Got all of our pieces out. Hopefully they're what I need. So this is the plan. Thick piece, bottom comes straight out. Yep. See that, right? Okay, cool. Then this will be the face for the other side, which I gotta figure out my holes. And then this will be obviously the top side over here. And bam. Now, after redoing my measurements and stuff, I need to be 3 3/8 from the face of this guy to the face of this guy. So these are a little long, but that's okay. So we're gonna weld them on somewhat where they need to be, and then we'll cut them down to the length they need to be, and bam, we can just weld this puppy right on the front. Drill our holes for the other, you know, slave cylinder thingamajig, whatever it is. Wham bam. Thank you, man. We'll have a clutch-a-rooney. I got all our pieces around here. I think I know where they go. I'm just gonna go buck wild and just tack some stuff together. Just tacky tack, 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 tacky tack. That's what I'm saying. We're gonna do. And then I'll get back to you. Couple back and forth and you know, a couple slices, couple dices there, and some modifications of the original plan, and well, we're close, I think. Here we are on the outside. It's not bolted in, it's just precariously hanging out, okay? We cannot weld the bolts in. No big deal. I could just put a head on it on the outside so it don't spin. Gotta drill the 2 holes to hold the little cylinder on. You know, I was like, oh, let me be careful and sneak in the door and check under here and see where that rod is compared to the pedal. And dude, it's on there. It's like right where it needs to frickin' be. So you're kidding me, right? You're kidding me. Double win. Yep. Yep. I think it's getting dark out, so it's call it a night. Come back tomorrow, drill the holes. You know, maybe I could find a bushing in the morning to be able to get our rod attached. And man, we might have a clutch tomorrow, and we would have knocked things off the list. Exhaust pipes, clutch, goodies, man. This ride is gonna be so sick very soon. What do you mean? It already is. It's just gonna get more badass from here is what I mean. Stopped by the hardware store this morning. Got a couple bolts, a nylon bushing, and stuff. Came back, welded up the bracket, you know, cause why not? You guys seen people weld, you don't wanna watch me weld, especially my boogers. But anyway, here are the boogers. This little bugger's, it's in there. I got 2 bolts. The next thing to do is I just whooped up a bushing. You can see I just cut this one. And it's gonna fit wham bam, thank you ma'am, right in there. And that bushing, you know, fits right, it's snug. Inside and then on the little stud that goes through the pedal. So now we gotta get that on the pedal and then bolted through these 2 bolts, holes, with our new bolts that we got. And then I'm pretty sure we're gonna have a clutch. Hopefully, as long as the amount of throw the pedal gives this thing is enough, that we should be good. But if not, we're 6 lettered, if you know what I mean. We got the clutch in, it's we're ready to test it. Well, I've already done some testing, but I gotta show you guys. Grandpa's gonna do some demonstrating while I camera guy. So I really don't know how much room we got before this sucker hits the floor. So let's give her a shot. Oh yeah. You feel it bottom out? We're gonna have to stiffen that clutch bracket too. Moving on forward, I told you we was gonna work on something else. We're gonna work on, real quick, the drive shaft. It's so close. We got lucky, we went through the thing. We found, dang, 5 different straps. 2 of them worked. And we found 4 bolts for the rear end, so man. I said, man, it's gotta go in. I tried throwing it in, and we're hitting this little cross member right here on the bottom side. So you know me, I'm not gonna fool around. I'm gonna slice and dice right down the side, cut that out, get a drive shaft room, and then we'll work that over later. Get the drive shaft in there, and then we'll go back to fuel lines and gas pedal and stuff. Do you see this pile of crap that we had to go through to find those 4 bolts and 5 straps though? Yeah. This whole bucket. That bucket was like halfway full. Dang! Here's the mother trucker that was in our way. You can see why it was in our way, because, you know, had a little hoop-de-hoo. Well, guess what? That's where it goes now. Now we have room for activities. Plenty of room, and lots of room to fill back in. Sure. Great. Well, I'm up here so you can tell, you know, things didn't go well. And the drive shaft's still not in it. Well, let me tell you why. Because you see this stuff right here? The e-brake stuff? The floor's got a tiny little dip right there. And it's just in the way. So I gotta do more slice and dicing. Just a little bit. I gotta figure out what to do. So I got frustrated, moved on. I said, you know what? Take a breather. I came around the back yonder way, and I said, you know, I've been wanting to do some more of this stuff, and the fuel pump's one of them things. So I said, right here, let's just mount the fuel pump where I want it. And that's right there. It's nothing but drilling a hole right in our bracket. And then I drilled another hole right there for our wires to go through. And then I'll put like some sort of rubber edge or maybe a hose around the frickin' wires or something right there. I did just barely scratch our tank doing it. Dang it. I didn't break through, so that's good. Good thing it's not under pressure. Threw the tank back on, the air tank. Man, it's just dangling. Looks good. I had to step back and look at it, and I said, man, that's actually not too bad. I'm digging it. Okay? Happy with it. Next thing I gotta do is hook up the line down underneath the car, which I really don't want to lay, ooh, excuse me, under the car. Actually, I can't find my pot cutter or my flare tool, so, you know, it seems like everything I do today, I get so far and then something shuts me down. So I think I'm just gonna wrap it up this weekend. You know, it's only an hour and a half, 2 hours away from when I usually wrap up anyway. I'll take this time, maybe enjoy some family time. So I gotta say thank you guys for watching, and thanks to my family, like my dad and my girlfriend and the kids and everybody for helping me make this thing possible. So thanks for watching. Give me a good old comment, like or something. Subscribe to the channel because maybe it'd be cool. Thanks for watching. Laters.